welcome back to the Minecraft 1.20 Let's Play. Today I am finally going to work on the cove inside of our massive mountain. My goal is to have lots of houses and shops in the walls surrounding the dock area, where later we can build some different boats to kind of fill up that space. However, I know that I am really low on oak wood, and the dock design I've been using in this world, not that one, well, this one too, but this is the one that I will use. It's a lot of oak logs, so to get a head start on the supply this would take, I am going to take a path through the island thing. That's kind of an island because it's surrounded by swamp, that I've been wanting to do for a while. I'll map it out with path blocks. And I'll have to connect it to the farm area somewhere, but because this is easier to walk, I'll use some spruce logs to smooth out the edges, and I'll also take them along the sides. That's one mini project down, and I've got a little bit of oak wood, not as much as I was hoping, but now we can jump into this really cool time lapse of me chopping all of the wood that I need for today's project. Hopefully. Alright, I've been chopping trees, but I have just discovered how easy it is to destroy leaves with a hoe, like faster than shears almost, so I just have to get mending on it, and unbreaking if I've got that trade. Alright, I know I've got a decent mending trade, and efficiency, that's good to have, but it looks like I don't have an unbreaking villager actually, so I really do need that trade, especially for a hoe, because it breaks so quickly with the amount of leaves that I'm chopping. I can probably set that up right now from our pit of villagers. I'll grab a minecart from my scaly farm train because I am too poor to make another one, and I'll dig a tunnel from the track here to lead a villager through and up to the makeshift library here. Starting here, who is my next victim? I mean, volunteer. Here, come with me into this totally legit train tunnel. Alright, I will get you a nice lectern, sir. Nice, finally. Locking it in. Now just get in a stall, please. I'll gather some emeralds from the bakery and the pumpkin farm up here. Now I can buy an unbreaking book and an efficiency book, just because. Just for fun, I'm actually going to enchant the hoe in my enchanting table to see what I could get. Okay, well, maybe I should have checked this before setting up a whole villager trade, but that's fine. Oh, although fortune might not work because I can't make this silk touch if I need to, so I think I'm gonna try again. Another fortune one? What the heck? I thought that was kind of rare, but okay. Yeah, I'll just take efficiency. Now that's done, and I might have got a little bit more sidetracked than I intended, but now we can move on to the actual cove project. The first step is getting the dock built around this whole half-circle shape. The pillars above the water will be oak, but I'm going to be a little bit cheap and use spruce for the sections that are under the water. This is a pretty deep cove, so I think that's the way to go. The dock is mostly spruce slabs, so I'll sketch it out with those, and then add the details. So that's the basic outline. Now I can place the beams. Hopefully they won't be in too awkward of spots. Since the design is layered though, like this, it could get tricky. That went pretty well actually. Next we just need a bunch of trapdoors. And now I need to actually swim all around to collect the fallen slabs. Maybe I should have come up with a more convenient design. Oh well, these pillars need to be topped with a mosaic slab, which are kind of a pain to craft. I've got to make the regular slabs to make it to full blocks, and then back into the mosaic slabs. I forgot to do this earlier, but I need to have the outside rim of the slabs oak instead of spruce, so let me just backtrack on that real quick. For easier access here, I'll make some ladders and spread them along the whole deck. The last step here is making bamboo trapdoors and some oak fences for the railing. So that's the dock finished, but now I need to go build the actual structures in this cove. To start, I want to fix this awkward tunnel thing, but I'll already know I need to dig it out, so I want the building to be very similar to this fishing hut on the opposite side, without of course being the exact same, so I'll grab some prismarine and sea lanterns. I'm going to do the same striped log pattern I used on the original room. The middle roof, like the other one, is dark prismarine, moving up a very small slope, and the top is warped planks. Using prismarine and sea lanterns, I'll fill this in and use the lanterns as kind of a backdrop. There are two side structures for this build, and the first one has that little counter and the cobblestone and prismarine roof. The other one is just a very simple tower out of spruce and mud brick with a bamboo top. To fix up this tunnel, I'm going to extend the spruce back here and bring it down a level. Oh, hello sir, I guess I can't really expand this unless I evict that guy. I will, however, take some walls and replace the back of that stall. That way this looks a little bit better. Well, actually, I don't know about that. Maybe this will work better as just a little cliff. So inside of this, I don't plan on having a lot going on in here. I'll just use a lot of stone bricks to cover the walls and some prismarine on the ceiling and floor. And we end up with this very narrow, small room. The reason is that this area collides with the fish tank I've got in a way that I didn't anticipate, so we've got just a little room up here if I ever want to do anything, which I probably won't. I'll never use this space. This room isn't fit for villagers, but the next building I'm intending on keeping some cartographers in. Cartographers, that's hard to say, but anyways, let's dig out the terrain some. And now, beginning with the deep slate and mossy cobblestone at the bottom, I'm going to have two sections of the build, so I'll make the stones two different heights. Next, I'll add spruce trim, building up to the second floor. In between the beams, I'll use oak planks and some more trim here with spruce stairs and trapdoors. For the windows behind these trapdoors, I'm using orange glass and sea lanterns behind that glass. The other windows, however, are less complicated, with just some warped trapdoors. The roof trim is acacia, so I'll lay that down on the smaller roof. And the other section, I'm using cobblestone for the middle wall thing, and it's just easier to do that part first. The trim is down, so now the actual roof, which is a copper gradient, but I'm also using a bit of prismarine brick at the very bottom to keep some oceany materials in this build. Some finishing touches here, like a light and more spruce accents to cover up all of that cobblestone, and some azalea leaves with more potted plants below. Alright, another building down. Now it's just the interior, which is probably more difficult since I forgot to actually make it villager proof. I've cleared the inside out some. To start, I'm thinking I'll have some stalls on this wall, and maybe continuing over here. I want to use some dark oak because of the cartography tables, but I don't have a lot, so that's why I'm using these spruce logs. I can use, though, some dark stairs and slabs as trim, and the stairs should keep the villagers in place. I want 2 floors here, so we'll have plenty of room for them. I'll place spruce stairs in a line and some of the beams coming down for support where there aren't villager stalls. I'll extend the outside wall patterns back to the spruce beam, and now that I've placed some stuff, I actually need proper lighting in here, so I'll trap 2 lanterns in a cage of trapdoors. This room back here can be a similar deep slate wall pattern, but I want to change it up, so I'll use some deep slate tiles on the first row. And hopefully I can take some torches away now. The second floor can be dorite to keep things bright since this room is completely inside of the mountain. I'll do a checkered pattern of polished and not polished dorite. And instead of dirt pillars, I'll grab some quartz and put in a staircase back here. I'll build more stalls up here, and for the walls on the second floor, I should fix that first, but the material for this side is going to be stone bricks. However, at the bottom, I'll use acacia for the darker gray bark, and maybe some chiseled stone at the top somewhere, just as a trim. But I think this is going to end up as just a blob of gray, so I'll add another beam in the middle, and above that we can have the chiseled stone brick and more stone bricks. To separate these 2 wall types, I will bring that spruce beam all the way up and along the roof. For the roof in question, that can be brick blocks. Hang on though, first I've got to make an awkward staircase all the way up here. Now I can add proper lanterns in this little nook type thing, and just repeat that all around. I'll also use some leftover hanging signs to hang some more lanterns from this beam. You may have noticed that I haven't done this first floor down here, and that's because this pattern is the one that I posted for you guys to choose, and the people have spoken, kind of. I gave it a couple days even though I probably should have waited longer, I just didn't get it out in time, and you've actually tied it at the point of building this between cherry and acacia. Why can't you just be normal? I'm kidding, but since there are 2 things, I'll use one here and one in a different build. Very soon, I promise. Also, a quick edit, as of posting this, there actually cherry won a lot, which is a good thing, kind of. It's my favorite too, but I'll definitely use that in a big way in a build to kind of make up for that, since it's kind of not what you guys chose that is what I use, but anyways. The acacia, I think, goes a bit better here, so I'll lay that down in this hall and by the staircase. Beautiful. Now, before I do anything else, I want to get the villagers in here. As you can see, our villager problem has gotten worse, so I do need to start taking them out. It should be pretty smooth to get them through the fishing hut and just to the back of their building, if I just build them a rail track. That wasn't that bad. One guy is all set up. Now to just do that a dozen more times. Oh no, really? Dude, hello? Where the heck did you go? Oh, okay then. You just got a little lair back there. I'll just trap you again. You cannot outsmart me. Perfect. I'll put some sea lanterns above their heads to create more light here. Well, hey now. Okay then. If they're dividing and conquering, it's probably not a problem. Just a few years later, and that is all of the villagers in place. Now I'll collect any sugarcane that I've got from my farm, and I will probably need tons of emeralds to level up the cartographers, so I'll also make use of the berry and pumpkin farms. Now we can take our minuscule amount of paper and lock everyone's trades in. But that paper actually didn't get us far, so I'll buy some maps. But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe instead I should just level up one guy so I can actually get to that glass pane trade. That way I can at least trade for the emerald loop between them and the librarians. Oh, excellent, okay. I didn't know it was so soon, but let's go trade for some glass. 2 stacks exactly. Okay. And he's already lowered the trade. Good, good, good. I've made a lot of progress with this person, and they actually trade banners. I did not know that, but very useful, because I'm usually too lazy to make them myself. This journey back and forth, though, is definitely a pain, and I'll work on getting a better setup for the librarians that's closer and not just a stone room with one bookshelf. This is the final level for this cartographer, and he sells a globe pattern. I'm actually not sure, is it different for each one? Either way, that reminds me that I do want to build a globe in here to fit the theme, so I'll keep leveling these guys up, but I'm going to continue building in here. Safety first though, I'll install a little railing out of acacia trapdoors. Now to fill this space here, I've designed a globe to fit here. I'm using bamboo for the base and different colors of wool and glass for the actual globe part. Random side quest, but I was just collecting more emeralds and a stray villager was over here and connected to one of the lecterns I used. So I'm gonna trap him in here just to have a use for the inside, because it was kind of tugging at the back of my mind, but I also did decide to open the walls up in here to connect the whole area. I still don't know if it looks better or not. Anyways, the globe looks lovely in here. Now the last few things to do are some smaller pieces of furniture. This one I'm making like kind of a grandfather clock, but also inside of a bookshelf. I also want to have some sugarcane in here, just because paper and maps, I guess. Now of course I do want to get some flower pots to put around. I'm trying to keep the color scheme of the plants here to red, blue, and green to match the bookshelves. So I've got some poppies, cornflowers, and cactus. The last thing this interior should have is an actual map of the area. So I'll buy even more maps and start mapping everything out. Starting right here. One in the ocean, one at my starter house, and that's actually the majority of my area just on this map. The final one, I think, is by my sniffer house. So now let's see how these all look on the wall. It doesn't quite fill up the whole space that I've got laid out, but I might map out further that way so I can actually get the ocean monument in here. Now that should be everything, and it looks great, I think. And with that final map placed, this place is actually complete. It's got all of the cartographers I'll ever need, hopefully, but the outside dock area needs some help. The first thing is adding some undercover lights, and I want to use some warped plants, I think, because there were already some mushrooms growing out here, so I'll use some warp stuff as some other kinds of weird growth kind of things. So pretty, right? Anyways, the warped forest isn't far away, I can easily get there and get a bunch of these. I can dot them around along with some of the brown mushrooms. I also think I'll add texture to all of this stone with some cobblestone. So it's not much so far. I don't have a lot of space to work with, as it turns out, but I'm going to use some glowberries for light on the ceiling over here because it is very gloomy at the moment. Those should grow on their own, and in the meantime, I'm thinking about redoing this waterfall. It is quite literally just a bucket of water that I used to get up to my mansion while building it, but I think it would still be cool to have a waterfall here, just kind of close to the dock. So I'll dig it out some and add the water. Now I can easily go up and down to add in some texture with some mossy cobble and some stairs. Our villagers trade for both banners and a globe pattern, so I'm thinking I'll buy some banners and a pattern. Oh no, that was not what I meant to do. Anyways, now I'll make some pretty globe banners. And yes, I'm using this random loom, not associated with my actual shepherd villager. It's just randomly on a dock, but these banners can hang on some spruce fences that I'll kind of hang around. I only did a couple, but I think that looks good. And maybe in here we can do one on either side of our map. Yeah, okay. With that, I think we're done for the day. We've got a brand new state-of-the-art, kind of, cartography station, complete with villagers, books, a giant globe, and a map of the world. I've also built some stuff out here, but honestly that other one doesn't have a lot going on inside. But that is all of the time that I've got for today's video. I have no boat, and I will see you in the next one.